We have made a corporate decision. We are no longer using WhatsApp. We are quitting, we're migrating. We are transferring our information to BIP, which is a domestic app.
Let's go to Sean Dubravak now in Washington. He's the president and CEO of the tech consulting firm Avrio Institute. He also wrote the New York Times bestseller, Digital Destiny: How the New Age of Data Will Transform the Way We Work, Live and Communicate. Welcome back to the program, Sean. Now, WhatsApp, as we know, is desperately trying to contain the fallout from their changes. In a statement it released, it says, quote, the changes do not affect the privacy of your messages with friends or family in any way. So what does this update to their policy involve then? And should users be worried?
Well, the update was specific to how businesses store their logs and their interactions with customers. WhatsApp promises end-to-end encryption for users, so those messages aren't utilized in any of their services. They're not read or the calls are not listened to. It was really around how businesses stored some of those logs on what ultimately are Facebook servers, and they felt they needed to disclose this. But the bigger message is that privacy and security are going to be defining features for every company in the decade ahead.
That's right. Now, in terms of how Facebook will use this information, is it a matter of the company simply wanting a return on its investment in WhatsApp? We know it famously acquired the messaging service for some $22 billion in 2014. So is Facebook looking to perhaps monetize WhatsApp now after so many years?
Facebook has for many years been looking at how it can take greater use of WhatsApp and other acquisitions it's made. Clearly, it's made great use of Instagram and monetizing that platform. It's doing the same with WhatsApp. In recent years, you have seen them move away from, by default, opt out of some of the sharing of information that is shared with the broader Facebook platform. And I think we'll see more of that to come. I think some of that is what consumers feared, and why you see them rushing to alternative platforms.
That's right, and until now, Facebook hasn't sought to make any drastic changes to the way WhatsApp operates. This seems to be changing with the introduction of this policy update. But as you pointed out, millions of users are now flocking to rivals such as Telegram and Signal. Do you think WhatsApp underestimated the value on users' data that they've placed on it right now? Have they underestimated the backlash?
Facebook has been dealing with a privacy backlash now for several years, and this is a continuation of that fallout. It shows that they have to be extremely careful with every step they make, that consumers are keeping a very close eye now and being very engaged proactively in how their data is being used. And I think that will define usage moving forward. So Facebook and all companies are going to have to think about very clearly the parameters in which they use data and information and how that impacts the consumer's perception of their offerings.
Telegram says it saw a near doubling of downloads in the wake of this policy update from WhatsApp. It now says it's got more than 500 million active users. The Signal, on the other hand, said its registration service for new users actually crashed as millions of people around the world look to sign up. Do you think these apps are actually capable of handling millions more users? Are they prepared to scale?
Definitely, these companies can scale. We saw a lot of companies scale in the midst of the pandemic. So you can see as we shifted to video conferencing, companies added the resources and added the staff and expertise that they needed to be successful. We'll continue to see that. These communication platforms have massive network effects. As more people move to them, it drives even more people to those platforms. And so there is a lot of risk for WhatsApp because it is a competitive environment and there are alternatives for users.
Okay, Shaun de Brabac, we'll see how else Facebook decides to respond to this backlash. Thank you again for joining us from Washington.